Good morning and welcome to the 15-minute Chassidus. It's only 15 minutes in quantity, but we hope it'll be a qualitative difference for your whole day. We're learning the Maamarim Tetzava, Tavshim Mem Aleph, and we're up to the middle of Ois Yud. Before we go further, I want to explain outside a little bit of the next point that the Rebbe is going to bring out. We've mentioned that Kosis Lamoyer refers to the etzem of the neshama. Mo'ir, not oil, not laheir. When going back to the simple meaning of the pasuk in the Torah, that the olive oil that was crushed to give off light should be brought to Moshe Rabbeinu. So the question we had earlier in the Maamar was, it says Kosis lamoir, nor Kosis laheir. Laheir means to give off light, to illuminate, and Mar means the source of light. So here, the pnimius taich of the pasuk is, it refers to the etzem of the neshama. The neshama has many different layers. We talked about the neshama as this l'mayla, it sees a lakus. It's a spiritual entity, and therefore relates to and is connected to godliness as it is above. Godliness meaning the energy of creation, the energy of Hashem's life-giving energy above. And that resonates with the neshama. It feels it totally. This is true. We have a neshama in the guf. Neshama in the guf doesn't feel that. We feel our body. We feel the nefesh habamis, the enlivening soul. We feel the guf. And so sometimes when there's an effect of the neshama from above coming down to the neshama in the guf, when this takes place, that's when it resonates. Oh, Hashem's real. We see a physical world around us, but we believe there's Hashem. There's a deeper union of the neshama. That is the very essence of the neshama that we have here, alive as Yidden in this world. The very essence of that neshama, that itself is nefesh elikis, is godly. The Yid, but what does a Yid identify as? I'm a Yid. How much? That's my whole being. Because the source of the life energy within Yid, in Elam Hazeh, the source of that's nefesh elikis. In this nefesh elikis, there's multiple layers as we exist. So in general terms, we have two layers. There's what's called kochos pnimim and kochos makifim. Kochos pnimim means those kochos that are invested in specific body parts. And kochos makifim means that which affects the whole person. So for example, you've got each body part has a particular energy, soul power that enlivens it. The ear hears, the nose smells, the feet run, the hands write, the brain thinks. The feelings of love and fear in the heart. You've got different parts of the body that have specific function. Then you've got an energy of the person, that energy which affects all parts equally. Like, for example, rotzen, a person's will. Person's will is something which affects, or you want to walk, you want to run, you want to go from downstairs to upstairs, you want to turn your head, you want to focus on studying, on thinking. What you want, the person's will, that affects the body. As long as it's a working body, the will is instant on it. It's not that you want to walk, you're sitting down, and now you want to get up. So you don't think, bend your knees, move the ankle, get the hips bending. You don't think that. You just think, I'm getting up. Or it's such an instant thought that it's hardly flashes through your head. You just want to get up. So that will affects the person all over. It's the same will. It's what we call a lunge of the soul. So that's all encompassing. If you would ask, and you can train different parts of the body to do different things. You could train your fingers to type. You can train your fingers to play a musical instrument. You can train yourself to write in a special way. You can train yourself to dance. What does that mean? It means to say that you've got not if you train your hands to play the piano, for example. It doesn't mean that your hands think. It means that the seichel that's in your head, there's a small amount of that has trickled down into the fingers, and so they're doing it, but you have to want to do it. It doesn't happen automatically. We've got these two layers. It shows up in another way. For example, the will to live. Or another layer of all-encompassing is a motivation for living, or for doing a certain, or for living a certain lifestyle. There's a satisfaction out of being in a certain modality, being a teacher, being a doctor, being a husband, being a spouse, being a wife, doing something which gives satisfaction. And that can motivate the whole person's life. A woman who enjoys and satisfaction from being a mother permeates everything. And that's also an example of a general, all-encompassing energy called koach makif. Usually, as a person lives their life, life is pretty. It's not extreme. We only in certain circumstances do you have what you'd call physically an adrenaline rush. When would that be? If a person's in danger, that they've got to fast get out of the place. So usually they'd have a certain level of strength in their arms, or they could run limitedly, depending on how the body works. In extreme danger, things work altogether differently. There's an adrenaline rush, in a fight or flight to survive, and so things happen that a person runs faster than they could otherwise do. They lift things that are otherwise impossible. They could squeeze in and out of areas that they couldn't get into in a normal way, because you're working on a deeper level. After the danger has passed, what happens? You go back to how things were before. The koichos pnimim haven't changed because there's a gili of the koach makif. In this example of an adrenaline rush, it's only an adrenaline rush, and you can't keep up that level of activity in a normal life, because the individual aspects of the person's structure is not made to take in that type of high level activity. So in spiritual terms, you have the same dynamic. There's what's called the koichos pnimim, where the soul has understanding of Hashem, love for Hashem, avos Hashem, the seichel and midas, that level of structure. And you've got the level of Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh is where I'd call a spiritual adrenaline rush, where you're functioning on a different dynamic altogether. So so if there's a danger, for example, spiritual danger, like there was at the time of Purim, before the Nes of Purim, or Yidden living under the KGB in Russia, where you have that spiritual danger, they had to have Mesiras Nefesh. So then the neshama shines through, and it comes out, and living on this spiritual adrenaline, the Mesiras Nefesh level of the Nefesh Elikis, the essence of the neshama. I'm a Yid. That's who I am. I'm nothing else, and I've got to survive. I've got to live as a Yid. So that shining through is the Mesiras Nefesh, the etzem of the Yid shining through. Now, and it functions very, very well as that essence in those circumstances. What happens after the danger is past? The same way as in physical things, there's not necessarily a change in the personality of the person. So too, once this has sunken back into being more hidden, that the essence isn't shining through as much, then the person hasn't necessarily changed in an internal way. Their way of thinking and their feelings might just go back to or are functioning just as a regular. So in the essence of the soul, it's also being created by Hashem that you have these two layers. You've got the essence as it is the essence, And you've got that part of the soul that it comes out, that it permeates all the rest of the individual koichos of the body. So you've got the seichel. How does a person think? Person thinks. What's his value system? What is he enjoying? What is he attached to? What does he love? What's his? That's called love. Meaning, love can mean from an extreme infatuation to I like it. What? How does he live his life? Is it focused only on ruchnis, or does the gashmis have a value also within him? So when it comes to the essence of the neshama, of the Yiddish and neshama, the nefesh is shining through, then the functioning koyach is the connection to Hashem. That's what it is. You do have another layer where a person can understand Torah, understand that Hashem is the creator, can have a level of love and fear to Hashem. So wanting to attach to Hashem, of not wanting to do things that Hashem doesn't like to do. That's the Ava, that's the Yira. So when you have these, it's really two layers or two levels. Now, but it's all one soul. As they come out in a revealed way in the body, you've got these two levels, the essence and the revealed parts, the koichos makifim, the koichos panimim. However, they really all come from the same soul. You don't turn one on and turn one off. It's not like putting on a green shirt and putting on a blue shirt. It's all part of the life energy of being alive that we have. However, it shows up in these two different areas. So when the essence shines through, it's coming through with that aspect, with its personality. I'm the essence, and we're functioning on this high level of only being connected to Hashem level, this level of what I call spiritual adrenaline. Then it sinks back into it's not necessary, and the person's in his regular format. However, it's still a soul power. His understanding is not body, it's soul. A person's value system, what they enjoy, what they love, that's all part of the soul. So there is an inner part of the soul where the two are in sync. Where since the person's understanding, his seichel, and his midas come from the inner chayes of his neshama, and also the Mesiras Nefesh level of the only thing of value is Hashem, and a Yid cannot be disconnected and doesn't want to be disconnected from Hashem. That all is part of the one Nefesh Elikis. So there's a deep aspect of the Nefesh Elikis that can shine through where both of these two are in sync. It's as if you could take the adrenaline rush and make it the norm. That his mind would think along those lines and his heart would feel along those lines. So there's a point where you could say, yes, there's the etzem of the neshama. That etzem of the neshama is wants only to be attached to Hashem. And that's what permeates, that's how I'm thinking now. My thinking is only along those lines. My feelings only are along those lines. That I want to have, that I'm in tune with that. That the very mindset is in tune. It's not that there's Gashmis and there's also Elokus. There's also a godliness. There's also Hashem. And you have a little bit of a disjointed approach, which is a normal, a natural approach, especially in the Dagiv is Zabainani. But there's the inner energy of, which is that it's all united as one. That the Keichos Pnimim are permeated with, are in tune with the very essence. And this is what we'll come to learn inside of Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day.